I cannot believe I'm saying this, but there is a good chance that Sixers at Knicks on opening night at the Garden, with the Knicks getting their rings, with LeBron playing in MSG against the defending champs, there is a good chance that actually might be a higher rated game and a more watched game than the NBA Finals last year. I think it's possible. And it will be just as expensive. As you've already seen, the get-in price is astronomical. And, by the way, don't forget to like and follow and share and subscribe to the channel. I appreciate you guys as always. I also apologize for the mess that is my apartment right now. I am currently moving. This will be the last stream. This will be the last video I do in this apartment. So, the coup de grace, the finality, you will not see this ridiculous background anymore. We will have a real studio, a real office, a real place to stream, and I can't wait for it. It's going to be great. And as soon as I'm settled in, I would say top of next week, we're going to be pumping them out left and right, so stay tuned for that. Now, back to the Knicks. This opening night, and the NBA couldn't screw this up if they tried, right? And they kept it simple, and they did the right thing. So kudos to Adam Silver. Now, aside from the fact I have no idea what the 3 o'clock Boston-Detroit game means or why that's there, why you want to put a game at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, the NBA, obviously, as you know, they're trying to appeal to Europe, so they want to have a time that suits Europe, so obviously that would be 9 o'clock in like Italy and France, so they're trying to make the NBA more global, which is the only reason you would have a 3 o'clock game in the afternoon on a weekday, when either everyone's in school or at work. I mean, it makes no sense, but obviously, as you know, the NBA is doing every single thing they can to expand globally as much as possible. But the Knicks opening night with Sixers-Knicks and then into OKC San Antonio, that's as good of an opening night as I can ever remember. This has that much buzz. This has that much juice. I can't remember anything that will be this highly anticipated. This will feel like a playoff night, a conference finals night. This is what this will feel like. We haven't had basketball in a while by then. It'll be the first game of the season. That's always anticipated. But then when you take into account the Knicks just won the chip for the first time in 53 years, you have ring night and raising the banner at MSG, the world's most famous arena. You have this new look Sixers juggernaut super team with Jaylen Brown now and LeBron to go with Maxey, Embiid, and Edgecombe. And you have the Philly-New York rivalry ratcheted back up after obviously playing again this past year in the playoffs. So you have all the makings here. And then even, you heard this summer that Rich Paul said LeBron would have gone to the Knicks had they not won the championship. So LeBron will be at the place he wishes he was playing all his games at, which even adds more intrigue. So, Philly, New York, opening night, prime time, defending champs, maybe the greatest player of all time, and this new super team in Philly that's going to get a ton of attention this year. You cannot have a bigger regular season game than that. It has never happened, and I don't know if it will ever happen. This is as big as it gets. And then for the nightcap, for the dessert, we'll only give you the two best all-around teams that have a chance at building a dynasty for decades in OKC and San Antonio. The two teams that don't like each other. The reigning MVP, two-time MVP. The so-called alien who wants to be the face of the league for years to come in Wembanyama. You have all the storylines, all the script. You don't even need to write a script for this because it writes itself. You can't have two better games than that. And we all knew once LeBron signed with Philly, those were going to be the two games. We all knew it. And the NBA didn't overthink it. They said, you know what? We're going to give the people what they want. And that's exactly what they had to do. Sometimes you got to keep it simple, stupid, right? Don't try to reinvent the wheel. We know LeBron at MSG, OKC, San Antonio. Done and done. And they did it. And it's going to be epic. And then obviously you have the Celtics and Pistons as kind of the finger food, you know, at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, the kind of the warm-up slot, as they call it. Phil, you know, look at where the Celtics have fallen. I mean, in the finals, winning the finals 2 years ago. Their best player obviously tears his Achilles. You know, 2 years ago, you know, a year and a half. They then trade Jaylen Brown for a bag of Doritos to their rival. The Knicks win the chip. And then they see LeBron go to Philly because Jaylen Brown was traded to Philly. And now they get the warm-up slot on the opening day, on opening night. Celtic fans are down bad right now. But when you look at those two opening games, man, and I'll be in the Garden for Knicks Sixers. It doesn't get any better than that. It does not get any better than that. I cannot wait. Get me to October right now. Obviously, not really, because I can't wait for the NFL season as well. But you know what I mean. And if you look at the overall slate, the NBA cooked. The NBA cooked with these games. Let's look at the Christmas games, right? Because we know the opening night. Opening night, we know Celtics, Pistons at 3, Knicks, Sixers at 7, OKC at San Antonio, 9:30. Okay. Second night, Heat, Timberwolves. Great game. Ant going to Miami. Giannis will kick off the second night with his new, donning his new threads. And then you got Steph and Luka in the back end of the double dip there in LA. Great 2 games there. Then we go to Thursday. Cleveland at Philly. So you get to see LeBron again. And you get to see the Cavs, who thought they were going to get LeBron, go to Philly. Little storyline there. And then you get Denver with Jokic at OKC in the back end of the double dip there. And then Friday, you get Knicks at Celtics. Mitch gets to play his old mates. Obviously, Boston, New York, still a big thing. And then you get Rockets, San Antonio, and the Battle of Texas in the double dip. Great opening week of NBA basketball. And then you get to the Christmas Day games, which are about as good as it gets. Trying to think if I would make any tweaks here. I don't think I would. You get San Antonio Knicks to kick off the day. That was going to be an obvious one. You were going to get a rematch of the finals on Christmas. We may have gotten it opening night if LeBron didn't go to Philly or Miami or Cleveland. He would have to go west for that. Actually, even if he went to Golden State, they probably would have opened Golden State at the Knicks, to be honest. They might have done that. So once LeBron was changing teams, you were never going to get San Antonio, New York on opening night. So now you get it on Christmas. Rematch of the finals. Then you get Giannis in Boston in the second game. Then you get Philly and LeBron with his return back to LA in the third game. Then you get OKC and SGA at Minnesota, all the battles they've had at Ant and LaMelo and the new look Timberwolves in that game. And then you get Jokic and Steph in the nightcap. What is better than what the NBA did there? Epic. Epic slate of games. They didn't overthink it. They got it right. And I, as a Knicks fan, and as a Knicks supporter, I love that LeBron went to Philly. And you're going to say, oh, you're crazy. Why would you love LeBron went to Philly? Well, I think it ratchets up that rivalry even more and makes it so much more fun. And as a Knicks fan, right? Knicks Philly is always, we saw it in 24, great series. We saw it last year when the Knicks swept them, but it's always contentious. The Knicks Philly rivalry, whether it's Giants, Eagles, Mets, Phillies, or Knicks, Sixers, it's always contentious. Those two cities do not like each other. And so LeBron going there and now ratcheting up that rivalry even more. Now Philly is a favorite. The Knicks are defending champs. So those are the two favorites going at each other. You haven't seen Knicks Sixers as the two favorites in a conference in how many years? So how fun is that going to be? And as a Knicks fan, you got nothing to lose, right? You're playing with house money, I should say. You won the championship already this past year. So if you don't win again, it is what it is. You won. You already got the feeling. Yeah, you'd like to win back-to-back. Don't get me wrong. I would love to win back-to-back as much as you. But we won. Monkeys off the back. No pressure to win this year. And now you got a little challenge again. Because, last year and years before, it was like, we're just trying to win the championship. It's the challenge of holding that Larry O'Brien, of hoisting that trophy. That's the challenge. Now, there's a new challenge. Because now, it's not just hoisting the trophy. You've already done that. Now, can you beat this new super team in Philly that has LeBron? Can you slay the dragon there? And then slay the... is going to be the challenge. And that, my friends, is going to be fun. And the East is just really good now. Right? The East got so much better. Philly, obviously, we know about them. Boston is still going to be good. If Paul George is healthy, they will still be good. Indiana gets Halliburton back. If he's healthy, they'll be very good. Cleveland has their same team back. Conference finals last year. They'll be good. Miami, obviously, getting Giannis. Toronto, most likely getting Kawhi. I still expect that to happen whether he's suspended or not. They'll get Kawhi. This is going to be a bloodbath in the East. Sorry, my mic was out. I don't know what happened there. A bloodbath in the East. And if you're a Knicks fan, or you're any fan, this is going to be one of the most fun seasons in a conference and most entertaining, competitive seasons we've seen in a while. Because if you went through the teams in the East right now, give me a team that you're like, oh, this team's definitely going to be terrible this year. And, this is basically a bye week, right? Let's see. Let's look at the standings from last year, okay? Detroit, we know will still be good. Now, I still think they need to get a second scorer, or they need to make sure, obviously, that Duren is signed, but they should be good. Boston will be good. The Knicks, obviously. Cleveland, Toronto, Atlanta, with Dort, they got even better. Philly, Miami, we know. Obviously, then you have Orlando with a new coach. Second year with Bane. Wagner hopefully healthy. You saw what they did when Wagner was healthy. They would have beaten Detroit had Wagner not gotten hurt in that series. Charlotte. Now, without LaMelo, it's going to be interesting. But we saw what they did last year. They have a young team. They have some exciting players. I expect them to be competitive. That's 10 teams. Now you go to the bottom. Indiana. We just talked about them. They should be better. Washington. With Trae Young, with Anthony Davis, with DeBonsa, they might fight for a playoff spot. That's 12 teams. So that leaves 3 teams in the East that could be terrible. 2 of them likely will be terrible. One of them has a chance to surprise if Caleb Wilson is as good as he looked in Summer League, and that's the Bulls. With Buzelis, with Caleb Wilson, they have some young talent there that they can be competitive. And if Wilson is the real deal, which he looks like, I expect them to at least be competitive. They won't make the playoffs, but they do have Norman Powell, as you know, as well. I like the Bulls. The only 2 teams I see being cheeks are Milwaukee and Brooklyn. That's it. That's it. And Brooklyn, Porter's still there. They got Michael Brown, who looks good. So we'll see if they can surprise. But those are the only 2 teams that I expect to be bad. Meanwhile, in the West, it's a lot different. They're very top-heavy with the two best teams, but then you got some bottom feeders there. Clippers, New Orleans. We'll see what happens with Dallas, Memphis, Sacramento, Utah. You know, you got some bottom feeders there. You do. The East is going to be fun. And I can't wait. Knicks, Sixers, opening night at the world's most famous arena as LeBron makes his Sixers debut and the Knicks hang the banners and get their rings. Or hang the banner and get their rings. What a time. Get me to October.